Welcome back to All Over News. I'm your host, Wilner Mondestin. Today we're bringing you the latest world headlines shaping global events across politics, diplomacy, conflict, economy, science, and natural events. From major developments in Venezuela and Ukraine to seismic activity in Japan and diplomatic tension in East Asia, we'll break down what you need to know and why it matters. Let's get started. Let's begin in Venezuela, where formal charges are expected soon against Nicolas Maduro, the country's deposed leader, after his capture by U.S. forces. Reports indicate Maduro and his wife are set to appear in a Manhattan courtroom in the coming days as the United Nations Security Council convenes for a special session on the matter. The capture has triggered a complex global reaction. China has publicly condemned the move, calling it a dangerous precedent, while Cuba has reported casualties among its forces. European officials have voiced concerns about international law, even as Venezuelan American communities largely support the action. U.S. oil companies are closely watching global energy markets, which have already reacted to uncertainty over Venezuela's vast reserves. Analysts suggest that modernizing the country's oil infrastructure could increase future supply, but lingering geopolitical tensions complicate that outlook. Bottom line, if formal charges are filed and the case proceeds in U.S. courts, this could redefine diplomatic relations with Latin America and set legal precedents for handling leaders accused of corruption and abuse. Across the Atlantic and Europe, headlines focus heavily on diplomatic and security matters involving Greenland and Russia. European leaders are rallying behind Greenland following renewed pressure from the United States, a situation raising questions about sovereignty and geopolitics in the High North. Meanwhile, discussions around security guarantees for Ukraine continue following recent multilateral talks, with draft statements suggesting binding commitments among NATO allies. In the UK, political leaders are warning of a long, tough battle ahead against rival political movements, and debates intensify over how to handle economic and social challenges into 2026. Why this matters? Europe is navigating a complex web of defense, energy, and political shifts as it balances Russian aggression, U.S. foreign policy, and internal party competition. Across the world, Germany has warned about infrastructure risks following an attack on a power station, while reports show thousands in Berlin temporarily lost power and cell service due to suspected sabotage. Also making international headlines, Americans and other foreign tourists are stranded on a remote island in Yemen due to regional tensions. Relief efforts are underway, and authorities are coordinating with local and global partners to secure safe passage. In the Middle East, Israeli diplomatic relations are expanding in unexpected directions. Israel has formally recognized Somaliland, a self-declared republic in the Horn of Africa. While this recognition has been welcomed by some national leaders, it has drawn immediate criticism from the African Union, which argues the move undermines regional sovereignty. Turning to natural events, a magnitude 6.2 earthquake struck Japan's Chugoku region, shaking communities and prompting swift response by emergency services. No tsunami warning was issued. Officials report infrastructure damage and ongoing assessment of affected areas, while citizens have been urged to stay alert for aftershocks. Japan's earthquake preparedness systems helped mitigate loss of life, but recovery efforts are now underway. In Asia, China has slapped export controls on Japan after controversial remarks from Tokyo's prime minister regarding Taiwan's defense posture. Export restrictions target key high-tech components, escalating an already sensitive regional debate over security and supply chain dependencies. China-South Korea relations are also in focus following recent high-level talks aimed at resetting ties, particularly in economic cooperation and technology exchanges. Meanwhile, regional diplomacy in Europe and the Middle East continues as leaders seek avenues of negotiation on long-standing disputes and new geopolitical pressures. Addressing global public policy, multiple nations have implemented new advertising and health regulations affecting children. For instance, the UK's ban on junk food advertising before 9 p.m. has now officially taken effect, sparking debate about industry impact and consumer behavior. Opinion pieces suggest this marks a broader trend toward government intervention in dietary health policy, a theme likely to spread to other regions in coming months. Other active global headlines include continued coverage of Ukraine's security guarantees with NATO partners, the ongoing geopolitical impact of Venezuela's political overhaul and global diplomacy fallout, tourist safety and international rescue coordination after mass travel disruption. As always, these stories are evolving, and All Over will continue to track updates as they unfold. And that's your World News Roundup for All Over News with me, Wilner Mondestin. These headlines reflect a world in transition, from geopolitical upheaval and regional security challenges to natural disasters and public policy shifts. If you found today's update informative, make sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and leave a comment with the stories you want covered next. We're committed to bringing you fair, accurate, and timely global news so you can stay informed and engaged. Thank you for watching All Over. We'll see you again in the next global briefing.